Hey guys, I want to make a quick video about how to self-host n8n. n8n is a workflow automation platform. It allows you to automate all sorts of things. Anything from pinging you in Slack when there's a new employee onboarded, like this automation shows, to integrating with your existing SaaS tools, like taking a form and having it post to your CRM, or taking some product analytics and having that post to another SaaS tool that you use, or dump down to Google Sheets or Airtable. It's quite powerful. I'm not going to get into everything that it can do. If you're looking at this video, you probably already know what n8n is. And you might just be wondering, how do I self-host it? Or maybe what does self-hosting even mean? In my opinion, self-hosting is the killer feature of n8n. I work with enterprises who don't want to be on the n8n cloud. They want it on their own cloud or their own server. So let's check out n8n here. You can go to pricing. These are the cloud prices. So, $20 a month if you want it hosted by n8n, or $50 if you want some more features. And of course the enterprise tier. Okay, but scroll down, and we are looking for something else. We want to check out this community edition. Self-hosting n8n. Awesome. This is exactly what we want. So what self-hosting is we're going to bring our own server. And that's, I promise you, it's not as scary as that sounds today. I'm going to make it super, super easy. But what that allows us to do is control that server and say we want to throw it on AWS, or we want to throw it on DigitalOcean, or we want to run it on our own, home automation server like a Mac Mini or a Linux box or something. In this case, I'm going to be deploying it to a platform called Railway on our own sort of private cloud. So it's not adjacent to any other n8n environments. It's self-contained, and that allows us to sort of configure what we need to, set some environment variables. Gives us more optionality if we ever want to move platforms, and just feels good philosophically to self-host these things as opposed to be completely locked in and dependent on n8n's own cloud, which I'm sure is great. So this is what we want to do. But we're going to skip this guide. I'm going to show you the quickest shortcut. I mentioned Railway. Railway is my current favorite platform for hosting web apps. You can get started for free. You can host n8n for free. And I'll show you how. So make an account. You'll be on your dashboard here. I have a few other of my sort of toy projects here on my hobby, which i.e. free plan. I'm going to go not new. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I think they're called templates. Here we go. Cool. Railway templates allow you to just one-click deploy the entire platform to your private cloud. That's what we're going to do. So they have a bunch here. n8n is right there. But in case it's not there, when you get here, it's railway.com/deploy, and you can just do n8n. Don't get confused here. Look how many there are. This is basically, these are user-generated templates. And so many users can generate many different templates. It's all mostly the same. The one you want is probably the one with the most downloads. And that's exactly the case here. The first one that comes up has almost 70,000 installs. This is like 100, this is the percent of successful deployments. So that's pretty perfect. Can't get much better than that. So thank you, Jack, whoever you are. So if you want to just go directly here, you can grab the URL from the title. I'll put it in the description below. This is what you get with n8n. You get the primary instance. You get a worker instance. You get a Redis instance, and you get a database, which is Postgres. You won't really need to worry about any of this if you're not super technical or you don't know much about web application infrastructure. These are all the required pieces, components, instances that you need to run n8n. But you won't need to configure them. They're already configured out of the box. They're there if you need to kind of look under the hood, but we won't need to do that today. All I'm going to do is click one button, deploy now. So it's going to deploy 4 services. That's what Railway calls them. Perfect. I can configure these, but I'm not going to. And then voila, you sit and you wait. Okay, everything's done. 35 seconds later, we have our own private n8n instance. This doesn't look like n8n. This is Railway, so I'll show you how to get to your private n8n instance right now. Again, you don't need to worry too much about all these different services. You can see how they're all connected, but that's really just more conceptual than to help you sort of conceptualize it more than anything. What you care about is your primary service. That's where you're going to interact with n8n. So this is all of the settings on this service. The one that you care most about, if you want to get into it right away, is the URL. How do you access this thing publicly, right? Well, Railway gives you a URL out of the box. And boom, there you go. Now we have our own n8n instance. It's running on our private Railway server. It took 35 seconds, one button click. Set up an account. That account gets logged to your database, and that database is private in this sort of Railway VPC world. If you want to, you can add a custom domain. I believe the free plan on Railway at the current time I'm recording this allows you to have a free domain or two. So you can make it look good for clients if they're using it. You can put it on your own sort of agency website if you want to invite others to use it. The one last thing I'll mention, which feels important, is that the self-hosted version of n8n comes with some trade-offs. Basically, they strip away some features. There's two ways to self-host n8n. The first is the Community Edition, which I just showed you. The second is the Enterprise Edition, which can be self-hosted or hosted on n8n's cloud. The Enterprise Edition, which costs probably a bunch of money, doesn't have any features nerfed from it. This Community Edition that we just installed does. So you can look here for the limitations of that Community Edition. I think the biggest one I've felt is that you can't have custom variables. If you're just getting started with n8n, you can probably make it work. It's not that big of a deal. I'll show you a workaround in 1 second. And then there's some sort of enterprisey, more technical devy tools you don't get, like Git version control, log streaming, external secrets. So if you have like your API keys in like a vault somewhere, the enterprise version and the cloud hosted version of n8n, I think allow you to like sync with that. So you don't have to manage all these like environment variables and API keys and stuff like that. So I think that's a pretty fair trade-off. I'm happy with the free version. But let me show you one thing real quick that you'll probably run into. You can use environment variables with the Community Edition, as far as I know. And the way those work is you have to go to your Railway services to set those environment variables, because environment variables are set on the servers themselves, right? Not within the UI. And that's the sort of the goal of them for security purposes. So if you want to set a new environment variable, like OpenAI API key or something, and obviously that stuff can be managed through the n8n credential system, but all you have to do is go to your primary service here and add a new environment variable by clicking up here. So you could say like OpenAI API key, SK, whatever, and then add it, and then I'll instantly redeploy that service, and you'll have access to it within n8n. And I think there's some syntax you can use to grab that. I will say before you go, you may need to add that environment variable to the worker as well, because the worker will actually like do the workflow processing, and I think needs access to those same environment variables. Railway has a super cool way where you can like link up environment variables across services within a project. I won't get into that, but that's pretty handy. Maybe, add it to your Redis. You probably won't need to add it to your database, but that's how you want to add those environment variables that can maybe sort of substitute as global variables, since the Community Edition does not have them. Okay, so to recap, sign up for a free Railway account. One-click install with that deployable template within Railway. Set environment variables if you need to. Set a custom domain if you need to. Otherwise, you're on your way. Have fun. Happy automation.